Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be decorating my house for Christmas. And the area that I will be decorating today is going to be my formal living room. I'll be placing my Christmas tree in that corner. And I'm also going to be adding some Christmas touches to the area. So I'm going to remove this olive tree that I have right here. And I'm going to work with my baseline home decor in order to start decorating for Christmas. And after I remove everything, the first thing I'm going to start with is going to be this Christmas tree collar that I got this year off of Hobby Lobby. I really love the thick pattern in the woven material, and it is also a great size for my Christmas tree. The color was also the perfect selection for my living room, and because I'm working with some baseline decor items with a couch and a rug, I now have a chance to choose a style for Christmas decor that flows better with the interior design of my living room. In previous years, I always preferred to go with the bright reds and playful themes for Christmas, but right now I am definitely leaning towards a traditional and elegant style for my Christmas tree. And my Christmas tree is actually one that I've been using for 3 years now. This one came from Sam's Club, and it's their Members Mark 9-foot Christmas tree. And what I really like about this one is that it has those beautiful stems on the outside of the tree, but then on the inside you have those really traditional flexible stems that will allow you to play around with different decor elements for your Christmas tree, including ribbon. This one actually is also very easy to fluff, and it really took me about 10 minutes to fluff and put together. A couple of tips I can give you when fluffing your Christmas tree is imagine each set of stems as a star. One stem to the left, one to the right, one upwards and one downwards, and this method will ensure that you don't end up with any empty gaps. Another tip that I've seen a lot of people do is to fluff some parts of your tree before you actually put them on your Christmas tree. And honestly, nothing more exciting to set off your Christmas spirit than seeing the lights on your Christmas tree for the first time. This tree actually connects the lights through the middle trunk, so you don't have to be dealing with cables all around the tree, so I think that's pretty neat. And the first element I'm going to be using today in this tree is going to be these green stems with pine cones. And I know that sounds super counterintuitive, like why are you adding green stems to a green tree? And the answer is that these stems have a little bit of a different texture than the stems of my tree. Even though they have the same color, this is definitely going to elevate the look of my tree. And even though this is a little detail that is so hard to tell once the tree is finished, I can promise you this is definitely going to make a huge impact on your overall decor. So I'm adding these stems all around the empty gaps that I can find, making sure that those are pretty well opened. And this is how they look, and now I feel like we have the perfect canvas to start working on this Christmas tree. Next up, I'm going to work with this ribbon that I got from the My Texas House collection from Walmart last year, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to place it on my tree this year. The first thing I'm going to do is making a loop in my hand and pinning that in place with one of my tree's stems that I can fold in the back. Once that loop is in place, I'm going to take the rest of the ribbon and create another loop. And I've explained this in many videos in the past, but the key for the ribbon to yield a pretty shape is to actually twist it every time you're creating one of these loops. I left these clips in real time. I did not fast forward them so you could see what I'm doing. So once I created 2 loops, I'm going to create a third one in a different direction, and as you can see, it looks like the ribbon is flowing out of the tree in such a whimsical way. The last piece of ribbon I'm going to leave loose, and I have already cut that tip like that from last year. A few other tips when adding your ribbon this way on your Christmas tree is to always do it in a diagonal shape so it flows with the shape of the Christmas tree. And also when adding other pieces of ribbon around, try to do it also diagonally so that it's not a linear look. For instance, after this top piece of ribbon right here, I added one to the left, one to the right in different levels until I can fill in all the gaps, but making sure that it looks balanced and honestly not too perfect, because that'll contribute to the organic look of the ribbon. One key thing when choosing your ribbon is to making sure it is a wired one, because if not, it's just simply not gonna give you this kind of shape. The next element is going to be my ornaments, and of course I'm bringing in my scissors and floral wires. And the ornaments I have for this year is, first of all, this burgundy decorative onion from Walmart. This is an oversized ornament and it is flocked. Along with that, I also got these forest green mini onions that are also from Walmart, and they pair so beautifully with the burgundy ones that I have. And also these from Hobby Lobby, they're flocked ornaments in military green, and I have 2 different sizes for those. When it comes to putting in ornaments on my tree, I personally prefer a more structured look, and for that I like to work in clusters with my ornaments. So essentially what I do is that I cut a piece of floral wire and I run my ornaments through that, of course alternating them, and then I'll create a loop on each end of the wire so I can hang it comfortably off of my tree. I think I worked with about 5 clusters, being the top one the smallest one, and I like to place them always in a diagonal shape as well. If you want to learn more about this method, I'll be sure to link my video from last year in which I explained this in detail as to how to create these ornament clusters and actually how to decorate your Christmas tree like a designer. If you do watch that video, let me know in the comment section down below what was your favorite tip. But if you prefer a bit of a more organic look in your Christmas tree, I would highly recommend just placing your ornaments the traditional way. And now that the ornaments are in, it is really critical to bring in back a little bit of contrast because I do have a lot of green and burgundy going on. So I chose to go with these velvet stems from Hobby Lobby this year, and they're great because they match the ribbon perfectly. And I am going to place these stems right around those ornament clusters that I just created to give contrast and being able to differentiate the actual ornaments from the tree. I do think these look absolutely beautiful, and I think I use a total of 9 or 10 of these pieces all around. And once these pieces are in, I realized that there's a need for a different texture in this tree because everything I have is velvet or flocked. So I'm going in with a couple of toned down gold stems. The first is this one, and the other ones are these flocked leaves, and both stems came either from Hobby Lobby or Michael's last year. I do have them from last year, so I do apologize that I can't remember exactly, but I'm going to add them to the tree in the same fashion that I did with the velvet stems. They're going to go all around the clusters, and the leaves I'm going to add on the outer parts of the clusters, whereas the other little stems I'm going to add on the inner areas of the cluster or in between the ornaments. This is just the way that I prefer to do so, but this of course will depend on your preference. Next up, I thought some pine cones will tie everything together with the Christmas color and also with the rest of the colors of the living room, as well as adding in a little bit of a warm and rustic touch, which is the perfect balance I'm looking for in this Christmas tree. So I paired 2 oversized pine cones together hanging downwards, and I actually got these oversized pine cones off of Amazon. I have some battery operated candles here because these are the true inspiration for this Christmas tree. I added the burgundy ribbon at the bottom of each candle, and I saw a picture of the Christmas tree from the Nomad Hotel in London from 2022, and I thought it was so beautiful. I love the structured look. I love how designer it looked, and I know that last year there was some recreations from this tree which were absolutely stunning. I wanted to give this tree my own twist, and the non-negotiable elements for that were definitely the candles and also the burgundy. So this right here is my version, and I think the lights from these battery operated candles give such a whimsical look to the tree. These candles actually have a mode where you can set them up to flicker like a regular candle, which makes them look like you have real candles on the tree. It looks super magical, super elegant, and I'm really happy with how my Christmas tree turned out this year. Next thing to decorate in this video is going to be my fireplace, and I did get a lot of comments about this fireplace in my fall decorate with me video stating that it's too small for the space, and I know it, I get it, but it's what I have right now and I'm gonna work around it. First off, I'm going to go with this cedar garland that I got from Hobby Lobby this year, and this cedar garland matches the color of my Christmas tree perfectly. This garland requires no fluffing whatsoever, and I did decide to place it on my mantle in a balanced way that is equal on both sides instead of an asymmetrical look. And now that we have the garland in, it's time to place the taller elements on each side of the mantle to work our way in with the decor on that surface. The first element I'm working with is not a seasonal item. It is this tall vase that I got from Olive Ateliers, and I did receive this one as a gift from the brand, which I'm super thankful for and super happy to display it in my Christmas decor for the first time. I love this vase, and I will be sure to link it below in case you're interested. The next tall element is actually going to be a seasonal decor item, and it's this Etsy print that I added onto one of my gold frames with a mat. I'm going to use this on the other side of the fireplace mantle, and the height of this piece is balancing out with the vase that I have on the other side. One element that I knew I wanted to incorporate into this mantle is this beautiful wooden nutcracker that I got from Walmart this year. Because this is a tall element as well, I'm going to place it right next to the frame, but right in front of the mat of the Etsy print, so it doesn't compete with the actual piece. Next up, I'm adding a couple of home decor books that I already have to give the main character some height, and that is going to be this reindeer right here that I got from Walmart this year. I knew I wanted this guy on this surface, and I knew I wanted it to have a special place. So the way to achieve that is to play around with the heights and also making sure you place a piece like this in the center of the surface surrounded by the tallest elements. This is also the place where my stockings are going to go, so I'm quickly adding my holders right there, concealed by my garland. And my stockings this year I actually showcased on my last week's video. I believe these stockings tied up everything together in my living room. I'm going to decorate them with these bell picks that I got from Michael's last year. And I am not sure that these are available this year, but I will try to find something similar that I can link down below for you. And even though I was loving how this mantle was turning out, I figured it was looking a little bit flat, so I decided to go in with twinkle lights. You can never go wrong with those anyways. And lastly, adding some burgundy touches to make this mantle come together even more with the Christmas tree that is right next to it. First off, I added ribbon to the vase, and next I added ribbon to the stockings. And I did present these stockings on my last week's video with brown ribbon, but I decided to switch it up for the burgundy, and I'm so happy I did. The next surface we're decorating in this video is going to be my coffee table, and I always like to decorate this long coffee table into two sections. For the first section, I wanted to add this antique wooden decorative bowl that I sourced off of HomeGoods recently. I love the size for this one, and I know it's going to be perfect to complement my Christmas decor this year, so I'm going to add it to one side of the coffee table on an angle position. To style this bowl, I'm going to use these stems that I got from Michael's last year during Christmas, and they are pretty long. I used them last year as if they were a garland underneath a tray. This year, I'm actually going to put them on top of this decorative bowl facing opposite directions, and I am going to pretend as if this was a beautiful natural swag. Then I'm going to add some more of those oversized pine cones that I put on my Christmas tree, and I'm going to add them in a very messy fashion. But then the star of the show is going to be these antique bells. I got them from Hobby Lobby, but I switched the cord for burgundy ribbon, and I do have to say that they look so beautiful together. The combination of wood, greenery, antique brass, and velvet is the perfect texture combo that I was going for on my Christmas decor this year. For the other side of the coffee table, it was really important for me to remember the meaning of Christmas, and that is the coming of baby Jesus. And so I wanted to add a nativity scene. I come from a country, Venezuela, where the nativity scene is actually more important than the Christmas tree. So I want to make sure that I can always honor that. And this nativity scene in particular holds such a special place in my heart because it was given to me by my mother-in-law, and she actually bought it from the land where Jesus was born. So it cannot get any better than that. I paired it with this decorative church from Walmart this year to give it a little bit more of a modern twist. The last two elements I'm adding are going to be the snowman and Santa Claus my mom brought for me. She actually passed me down these pieces from her personal Christmas decor stash. And with that, my friends, we have made it to the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comment section down below if you enjoyed it and what was your favorite idea that I share with you on today's video. If you enjoyed, please subscribe and also follow me on Instagram for more updates over there. And without any further ado, I really hope I can see you in my next one. Bye.